Ops weight and balance. Our weight and balance is basically accepting our weights, accepting our temperature, expecting our V speed, load it over for takeoff. This is where I would set takeoff flaps or no takeoff flaps. So we're set. We don't have to do any other performance testing. We're going to now just go to electric, make sure the batteries are nicely charged. They are 24 volts. We have no circuit breakers. We're going to set this to 68 for the reason we talked about before, overriding pressurization. We will have green on all of the elevator trim and airline and rudder trim settings. Pressurization, we don't have to do anything. Ice, we could manually turn the windshield heat on or off. We don't have it on now. And we're done. So that's it. We'll leave it in ops so we can go back and set the landing speed right after we take off. We've already loaded, or we tried to load, our Bangor to Plymouth. Interesting plane. Nav data, that map, map settings. Turn to map, it's now centered. Chart, go our runways. Okay, so let's go ahead and start the battery. Beacons on, or start the plane. Fuel flow is 80, we have oil pressure up, oil pressure is in the white, life is good, FedEx in control.
Good.
Very hard start process. Go ahead and set our...
Under.
It is. Mike, I don't recognize that phenom. I should.
Match for the New England area available in Hiawassee or flight service frequencies. Bangor approach control frequency 118.902. Advise on initial contact, you have information, Kilo. Bangor tower information, Kilo 2053 Zulu. Wind 160 at 6. Visibility 10. Ceiling 25,000 broken. Temperature 1, dew point -11. Altimeter 3020. Runway 33. Visual approaches in use. NOTAMs. Taxiway Juliet closed. Helipad closed. Hazardous weather information concerning air match for the New England area available in Hiawassee or flight service frequencies. Bangor approach control frequency 118.902. Advise on initial contact, you have information, Kilo. Bangor tower information, Kilo 2053.
Good afternoon, clearance, November 301, Mike Kilo.
November 301, Mike Kilo, Bangor. Clearance clear to the Plymouth Airport via the Bangor 2 departure, then as filed, climb via the SID, squawk 5324.
301, Mike Kilo is cleared to Plymouth via the Bangor 2 SID, climb via the SID, squawk 5324.
November 1, Mike Kilo, read back correct, advise ready to taxi.
Stand by, thank you. Bangor 2 more or less is 10,000 feet, and it gives you the where is it? Bangor 2 departure. So it's 33 runway heading, thence maintain 10,000. We did that, clearance we did, ground is 21.9, tower, and departure is 1892. Yeah. Tower 1892. So tower 1892, transponder was 5324. We really have had the same codes all day. So that's done, 10,000 is done. Way heading is 333 is set, because I remember from last time I was here. Everything looks good, no circuit breakers popped. We'll leave this on ops, we'll go back. That's set. Right, takeoff pitch. So one last time, 3020, 3020. Everything is set, runway setting, All right. And that would be Alpha. Ready to go, 121.9.
Yeah.
Good afternoon, ground Eclipse 301, Mike Kilo at the FBO, ready to go with Kilo.
Eclipse 301 Mike Kilo, Bangor ground runway 33, taxi via Alpha.
Alpha to 331 Mike Kilo, thank you. Did I take a picture before we took off? Or after we landed?
You did, of them.
Yeah, but not of this.
Oh, no, you did not. Your
I'm off my picture flow today.
your log procedure.
Yeah. I get way too lazy because of my admin. All right, so our field elevation is 130, so basically at 530 you would do typically yaw damper, pull the power back to max continuous thrust, put your flaps up. I've added a couple of autopilot things to do in advance, like heading and alt change, but I can wait to 1,000 feet to do that, which is the normal.
So you said there's a timer before you can engage the autopilot, even for heading?
On anything.
Yep.
Clear. So last time I was here, I had my AHARS fail twice on startup, and I had a sequence with them on the phone, and then I got a heading disagree as I was rolling. So I had to abort the takeoff, restart the plane again, and everything worked. I went home.
Really, just a matter like a rebooting a computer issue.
It is actually, yeah. That's the joke in this plane is that you just hit the reset button and it works.
I don't know.
That doesn't happen.
I don't know if that's reassuring or not.
It doesn't happen in the air, so it doesn't. They're pretty. So. All right, so we are at 27. Okay. Bangor Tower, Eclipse 301 Mike Kilo at 33, ready to go.
Eclipse 301 Mike Kilo, Bangor Tower, the wind is calm, runway 33, fly runway heading clear for takeoff.
Runway heading clear for takeoff, 33, 1 Mike Kilo, thanks. Clear for takeoff, strobes are on, that's on, everything is green, environment's clear. We have only 11,000 feet of runway here.
I know. You could land a space shuttle here.
I've been here when they have the 4-engine jet cargo plane doing touch and goes. So we'll do a rolling takeoff this time. Everything's green past 50. All power's kicked in. Speed's alive, environment's clear. One last check. Here we go, looking for 85 knots. Rotate 85. Positive rate, gears up. So basically the rule to waiting for 400 is to get you to 120 knots. Yaw damper, max continuous, flaps are up. Heading mode, alt change mode.
The 1 Mike Kilo, contact departure 118.92, have a good day.
1892, 1 Mike Kilo, thanks bro.
Niner, the weather is better than 5,005, and again the Bangor altimeter 3019er.
Good afternoon, approach Eclipse 301 Mike Kilo, runway heading just departed Bangor, 1600, climbing 10,000.
Eclipse 301 Mike Kilo, Bangor departure to contact. Good afternoon, sir. The Bangor altimeter 3019er, turn left, direct Marconi, Lima Foxtrot Victor.
Direct Marconi, 1 Mike Kilo, thank you. So we're doing 4,500, 4,000 feet per minute, which is why our ears were popping a little bit there. So if that's not fast enough.
Yeah. And we are climbing to ultimately 270, flight level 270 again?
I filed for 240, but
240?
We'll go higher. Might as well. So I can now hit nav. It has some idiosyncrasies in the turn, so it's easier just to complete the turn in heading mode. Now I'll hit nav. We'll switch to FMS. We'll finish the turn. We'll zoom out here. So basically, VX would be 140, and this would be VY.
Okay.
So you don't want it to get much below 140, but you could play with the pitch setting if you really want to climb quickly. So we're there. Pretty good rate of climb to get out of Dodge. It's colder here, that's why, if you noticed where we were.
November 301 Mike Kilo, contact Boston Center. Actually, stand by. I'm not receiving the altitude portion of your transponder, sir. Say altitude.
Altitude is 7,150, climbing 10,000.
I just got it now. Thank you again. November 301 Mike Kilo, contact Boston Center 124.25. You have a good flight, sir.
2425, 1 Mike Kilo, thanks, Rob. Good afternoon, Boston Eclipse. November 301 Mike Kilo, 8,000, climbing 10,000, direct Marconi.
Alright, capital aircraft at 17301 Mike Kilo, Boston Center, climb maintain. Flight level 260.
260, 1 Mike Kilo, thank you.
Other aircraft, say again?
Actually, I'd already put in with the actual flight plan, so I printed this out earlier. I put in 260.
November 211 Papa Bravo, Boston Center, descend to maintain 1000 to Bangor altimeter 3022.
So what will happen is, because I've done this before, as soon as I put everything in, I print it, throw it in my briefcase, or my knapsack, and then within 24 hours I'll do it again to get accurate winds.
Okay, right.
But every now and then I forget to take that.
Yeah.
So I already have one, no matter what, in my knapsack to go with me.
Yeah. So, in your training for this, do they teach you how to manually calculate VX, VY, depending on various weights and configurations?
Well, the manual has to be within reach, so it's right behind you here.
Yeah.
So that's where you look at the tables.
Right, in the POH.
But also, I'm connected to my visor, my Rube Goldberg visor I made. Because the little ones are only like this big.
Yeah.
So this is clamps on here.
KC2, Boston Center.
And then it will clamp on here.
Yeah, I was wondering what this was for.
Well, that's, anyways, these were $7 versus the hundreds of dollars for the little pieces of plastic. So the other...
KC2, cross scup at maintain 1000, Boston altimeter 3024.
So you actually, when you're flying for your lessons, you're using this, and it has emergency CAS messages and unenunciated messages. Okay. And you can do partial searches here, like fire, anything with the word fire in it.
Okay.
So,
Charlie Fox, Lima, Romeo,
yeah, because I guess if you can get a warning and you're trying to figure out what the warning is for.
Well, you'll always have a CAS message here.
Mm-hmm.
So you won't...
As being...
A crew advisory system.
Okay.
Right. So basically, unenunciated things could be all interrupts stuck on.
Okay.
Yeah, so those are the rest.
Kronos 128, Boston Center, Portland.
The red things
Boston altimeter
are typically,
3024.
You got to pay attention right away.
Yeah, like you're on fire.
Right. Well, and the engines, if they're on fire, you'll get a fire warning because there's a detector back there. And so this is collared for a reason.
So because it's a
Kronos
extinguishing
120, contact Boston approach 118.25.
So if you push it once, it turns the engine off.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't get rid of the fire warning, You push the
Kronos 128
down,
affirmative.
and
Contact
it
Boston approach.
fills up the engine compartment with foam.
Yeah, which means no restart.
There's no nothing. It's the engine's done. Right. So, anyways.
AC 4035, Boston Center, Portland altimeter 3023.
So you've got basically the pages right out of the manual, which makes it very easy. But you can also do all your weight and balances here.
AC 4219, Boston Center, climb maintain, flight level 230.
I see, yeah, there's your fuel calculation.
Do your trip planning. And do in-flight, different.
November 6818 Romeo, turn left 15
there are
degrees.
checklists here, but I don't know anyone that uses them.
Traffic.
Emergency, and then this is just general performance for takeoff, climb and cruise, descent planning. And then we have all of our manuals.
Yeah.
So one of the owners owns a internet company called Mobile Nations.
Mm-hmm.
So he actually did this, and then Eclipse bought it from him eventually.
Oh, really? Well, I hope he made a gazillion
And
dollars.
November 18 Romeo, clear traffic.
I doubt it.
Proceed on course, thank you.
Got it. All right, so again, 18,000, pressurization is working. System, one last quick check, no circuit breakers have popped. We'll leave it back in ops, go back to map, and we'll go now to charts, go to the destination airport, look at what the weather is real quick.
Piedmont 4875, Boston Center, climb maintain.
So we sort of know that we use 1.5, I guess, coming in.
Yeah.
We have 1533, so we have 1.5, which will give us a pretty good entry. We'll do a left downwind
Phenom 917,
entry.
Mike, climbing through 6,800 for 10,000.
Phenom 917, Mike, Boston Center,
That's the guy.
climb maintain, flight level 240.
That's the guy,
240, Mike.
the guy behind us.
AC 4035, contact Portland approach, 119.75.
It's actually kind of amazing that the jets have advanced to the point where they are single pilot.
Yeah, but the CJs actually were the first. And actually they had a 5 in the late 70s, the early 525s.
Yeah.
They had a single pilot version. So it had SP after it. But I couldn't imagine safely doing everything.
Those citations,
there were these initial early citations. But then the CJ series was intended to be single pilot from day one. But the Proline systems are just not easy to use. I mean, they work, but they're full featured. They're just not intuitive. So yeah, we don't have a lot. So anyways, we could set up
November 1 Romeo X-ray, Boston Center, maintain 13,000.
1.5 now.
Clear direct Prescott.
Just to have it superimposed on the chart when we get closer.
Somebody else call?
That's like, not only are they easier to fly, they're probably safer.
I always thought that as I got higher, bigger planes, they were actually safer because they were more stable. There was actually less to manage because in the Meridian, you're not managing the fuel either.
Right.
Yeah, you just have one lever.
Right.
The whole thing with the prop governor and overspeeding the prop is an issue, but
November 6818 Romeo, contact Boston
not
Center,
a big deal.
133.42.
But this is easier. There's nothing really to manage, right? You're just flying to a power setting. And most of the time you're setting it on max continuous thrust and not touching anything.
Yeah.
Wisconsin 4284, Boston Center.
So we're in visible moisture. It's less than 10. We'll turn the engine de-ice on, even though it's probably not needed. One of the things I do on all of my flights is I'll look on the visible, the color,
maintain flight level 230.
color visible moisture.
Yeah.
And that will let me know if there's a lot of moisture in the clouds versus just the IR satellite. And if I have a lot of moisture in the clouds, potential for icing goes up. And I'll plan accordingly. I'll be a little bit more attentive to what's going on outside. But today it didn't look like there was much. We can see the sun pretty clearly, so.
Well, were there any PYREPs for icing in clouds?
There was icing up here, up north of us. So right now I've got icing and turbulence PYREPs turned on.
AC 4219, contact
So there's
Boston
not
Center,
much.
128.32.
You can sort of see we're heading into the water. Out there. So I'm going to load this anchor to Plymouth. There we go. Here's our route of flight. Off the chart.
Yeah.
That comforting?
Into the sort of there be dragons.
Boston Center.
1,000 to go. So the ceiling in Boston's 14. Not too bad. So we'll get ended off the Cape around here. We'll ask for the shortcut. The only time
You just get, once you're
November
sort of clear the
211
Bravo.
Bravo, contact Bangor approach,
Right,
133.6.
but Boston typically won't give it to us because they've got these arrivals coming in, particularly on this corridor.
Piedmont 4875, climb maintain flight level 260.
So here we'll take a look at the radar. It's saying we don't have any radar. Here we go. Where's the radar? ADSB is not perfect yet.
Descend to maintain 1000. The Bangor altimeter 3022.
So is that your
This is
onboard
XM.
XM?
This is XM.
Yep.
This is in the nose. We'll turn the tilt up a little bit here. All right, do the same for you. We'll see if we can pick the outline up of the ground once we level off here. So we're leveling off, we're accelerating.
Piedmont 4875, contact Boston
So
Center.
we're aiming out over the
118.42.
water, so we're really not going to see much.
Yeah.
We'll put the range out a bit. So this is 130 miles away. So if we
Wisconsin
tilt it
4284,
right,
descend to maintain flight level 200.
should be able to get all the greens to go away. We'll see what happens here. Okay. So this is about 100 and something miles out.
Yeah.
So that may be the edge of the Cape.
Okay. It's like one of the, you're born or something.
Provincetown.
Oh, okay.
Provincetown. So Marconi is just southwest or east of Provincetown.
Yeah. Falmouth or someplace like that.
No, So Falmouth is over here. Provincetown is up here. Marconi is just. So Falmouth, Hyannis, Chatham, Provincetown. I go to Provincetown all the time to practice approaches, just because it's a short flight, and Cape Air is the only one that ever practices there.
Yeah.
Or not ever, but rarely.
I generally go to Worcester because the worst weather is always there.
Yeah. I trained out of Norwood, so I was used to going to Worcester. I did Horizon Aviation for private instruments,
maintain 11000.
and then I did shoreline aviation at Marshfield for DA-42, and then did commercial concurrently in the twin and the single. But because the twin was complex, it counted as my complex time. So I was able to use the DA-40 for commercial single.
Oh, really?
So I finished my multi-commercial first, which got the complex piece done. And then 2 weeks later, I did my single.
Okay.
And the cockpits were literally identical layouts.
Uh-huh.
You know, autopilot in the same place, G1000, radios, everything were identical. The only difference was I had 2 engines in one plane, and that made it pretty easy to switch between planes. Yeah, almost like cheating.
Lindbergh 6244,
not too bad.
contact Boston Center, 128.32.
So we've leveled off. It says we have a 25-minute flight. There's no real reason to go higher.
That's nice and smooth. Nothing.
Yeah, they took the turbulence warning off even for the higher altitudes down near us now. So there's really nothing there. So we'll lose ADS-B out here somewhere. Probably, because it'll be too far from land. But we'll be officially over the ADIS, the security.
Yeah, defense zone.
And we'll be out of the Bay of Maine or whatever that's called. And
Encore
officially.
3406, Boston Center. Jazz 745, contact Montreal Center, 132.35.
So in the old days, I would be looking at this and saying, okay, at Marconi, I want to have used
KC2, contact Boston approach, 118.25.
pounds, 350 pounds total, and I'd be cross-referencing that because I wouldn't have this here.
Jazz
Oh,
745,
And I want to make sure everything is working properly.
Right.
132.35.
Well, yeah, I mean,
Because you definitely are in your head having to do math all the time to make sure everything's going to work out fuel-wise. And if they do punish you and put you down to 3,000 feet for an hour, you know, you're not going to make it, probably. So so what they would do on the approaches from the west, if I was going to Marshfield, even in this, by the time I got up here around Gardner, they would have me starting down to 3,000 feet, and I'd fly all the way around the city at 3,000 feet, getting the crap beaten out of me, and then put me into Marshfield. So every now and then I would cancel if it's VMC, fly over the city, and dive bomb back. But I do the same thing whenever I'm coming to Plymouth, because they'll try to take me all the way south of Providence, or maybe sometimes over it, but it goes south to Mink and then back. It's a weird thing. So I'll cancel at 17.5 on the way down. Ask them what altitude they care about. Usually it's 14.5. Get past Providence and then dive bomb for the airport.
yeah, I was going to say, because, you know, you can fly VFR over the Bravo at,
Right.
was it 9,000 or something?
7.
Seven.
Climb maintain.
Seven.
And, as long as it's not actual instrument.
Ebony.
Right. So, and you can get permission sometimes, but generally this is the standard, and the air traffic controllers don't like dealing with exceptions.
Yeah.
They're used to a few of us canceling, but I tell them what I'm going to do in advance, so they don't get surprised.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so here's our sweep now. It says Marconi's 100 miles away, but we're getting something on radar.
November 301 Mike Kilo, change to my frequency 128.2.
128.2, 301 Mike Kilo.
And November 917 Mike change to my frequency 128.2.
Boston Eclipse 301 Mike Kilo 260.
1 Mike Kilo, thank you.
Boston Center, Endeavor 3834, 225 for 1.
Is he following us?
Endeavor 3834 Boston Center.
The Phenom is behind us. He's at 24,000 now. So he took the
He
recommended.
might be going to, well, no, I don't know where he's
Phenom
going.
917 Mike, we're on 22.
November 917 Mike, Boston Center.
So after you, on your fairing legs for your flights, you drop the call sign.
Right. You can only use compassion with
Yeah.
patience.
Because I've been asked to use it even on the fairing legs. And they said,
We were told not to do.
initially we were told not to. And then
Encore
they said, no,
3713, cleared direct to Alex.
we'd actually prefer you to use the call sign on the fairing legs also. And it kind of made sense just because if you're going into Logan,
So we're told if we're in a hurry going into Logan to go ahead and use it. But otherwise,
it's Bowie
don't.
at flight level 240.
The signature is the one that processes the paperwork and not the tower. So
Right. But if they've got something like metering or something like that into Logan,
yeah, so we're allowed to. That's what again we're.
actually I've actually run into metering even with the call sign.
3713, cleared direct Kennebunk, cleared
Ended
direct
up
to
diverting
Alex.
to Norwood just so I didn't have to.
Alex Encore 3713.
Yeah. Well, and that's why I just Norwood is so much more efficient, or Bedford, but I just didn't. You can't buy fuel; it's way too expensive.
Yeah.
There's no service, and the patients are maybe 5 to 10 minutes more.
917 Mike Mike, descend to maintain flight level 200.
200 Mike Mike.
Wonder where he's going. So he's going somewhere else.
Maybe he's
Beverly or Lawrence. Maybe.
Yeah.
Oh.
Jazz 938, contact Moncton Center, 124.3.
It's interesting we're not getting any
Jazz
other traffic
938, Moncton Center, 124.3.
anywhere on ADSB.
Endeavor 3834, contact
That's
Portland approach,
one of the
119.75.
worry points in this is we have the equipment to be ADSB, but
Jazz
it's not
786,
legal.
contact Moncton
So they
Center,
have to-
124.3.
Does it have to do with the altitude you're at?
Lufthansa
Here, no.
423,
Settings,
contact
your
Boston
ATC.
Center,
No, it's just
118.2, section 134.905, 3495.
Lufthansa 423 Heavy 13495. Away.
I think it's just where we are.
Yeah.
Because we're pretty far.
I just know that my ADSB is like, I don't, it doesn't display any airliners or anything like that.
Oh,
Just 'cause
mine does.
But it's just because I've filtered them out.
Oh, you
above
feel?
certain- yeah.
Oh, I didn't even know I could do that with this. I can, or
I don't know. Mine's on, that's on the Garmin.
oh, yeah. So there's some people. There's a version of the plane with 2 Garmin 400s.
Yeah.
Where the keyboard would be, and that was an iteration along the evolution. And those people managed to pay an avionics shop to certify the new G50s, 650s in here.
Oh, those are nice.
So
yeah.
then,
Yeah.
and then it also had a GTX something or other Garmin transponder behind the panel. So with that, they were able to add flight stream, be ADSB compliant,
discretion
and,
level to 17,000.
do all that ahead of the more advanced version of the avionics.
The ocean for arrival, runway
Yeah.
4 right
So,
transition.
and those planes have lost more value because they had the older.
4 and a
avionics.
4 right transition, ExoJet 508.
So, I wonder what we're seeing. Wonder if that's that.
November 301 Mike Kilo, descend to maintain 16,000.
16,000, 1 Mike Kilo. Right, so we only have 17 minutes to go.
November 301 Mike Kilo, descend to maintain 16,000.
16,000, 1 Mike Kilo. I answered him. Did I
You
not?
did. You did.
November 1 Mike Kilo, Boston.
1 Mike Kilo, Boston.
November 301 Mike Kilo, descend to maintain 16,000, Boston altimeter 3024.
3024 and 1 Mike Kilo, 16,000. I responded. Did you not hear me?
No sir, I didn't hear you.
Okay, it's just, could you hear me 5 by 5 now?
I've got you fine now, thanks.
Okay, thank you.
That's a little odd.
It was 3024, right?
Yeah.
Okay. It was.
November 7 Mike Mike, descend to maintain 14,000.
Clear to 14,000, 917 Mike Mike.
917 Mike Mike, the Portland altimeter 3023.
Thank you, copy Mike Mike. ExoJet 508 vacating level 280.
ExoJet 508, thank you.
Yeah. Things like that happen. They're really unsettling.
ExoJet 508, amend your clearance. Descend via the ocean for arrival for runway 22 left transition. Correction, runway 22 transition.
Descend via the ocean 4 for a runway 22 transition, ExoJet 508.
Automated weather observation
2152. Descend to maintain flight level 200.
Wind 150 at 005. Visibility 10.
Okay. We already had the weather here. So 24, so that's a little old now. Okay.
Encore 3713, can you make your turn to Kenneth protection to Alex now?
Stand by.
I've gotten caught in such
We'll check Alex
weird
real quick.
weather over the Cape,
Contour 3713,
Yeah.
thanks.
in the bay,
Alex this time
like
for traffic.
you're clear, then all of a sudden there's snow squalls between you.
Oh, yeah.
So they're just pretty intense.
Boston, Wisconsin 4201, 26.5, descending flight level 240.
So it's pretty
Wisconsin
smooth.
4201,
So this is an
Center, descend
example.
to maintain flight level 210.
Down to flight level 210,
I would just
Wisconsin
speed along.
4201.
We only have 14 minutes to go.
Southwest
So
13.
a quarter of an hour.
Cross Skaggs at maintain 11000.
So half of that 180 pounds.
Altimeter 3023.
So even if it's this, we still have more than enough to land. So.
Is there anything you wish this plane could do that it doesn't?
Another 300 to 400 miles, maybe.
Yeah.
Every plane's problem, right? Yeah. So they announced a newer version of the plane, but they don't have enough money to build it yet. It's 14 inches longer. Same. They're changing to G3000 panel, and the engines will be moved up to the Mustang engine.
ExoJet 508.
The plane for most people is fine because you can take 4 adults and full fuel and go somewhere. And as you can see in the back, there's just a
nice
tremendous
room, yeah.
amount of space. All the seats recline. Your luggage is all inside, pressurized, so and easy to reach while you're in flight. So.
Wisconsin 4201, your discretion, maintain 14000.
That's kind of a
Bangor
novel.
altimeter 3022.
So we're acting like I'm alone. We're just zooming our way down. We have 13 minutes to go. We have 20,000 feet to lose. So we may want to go down a little faster. Not a lot.
Number 301, Mike, descend to maintain 1000, port infection, Boston altimeter 3024.
Is that for 301 Mike Kilo?
I'm sorry, 301 Mike Kilo, affirmative, 11,000 now.
11,000 Mike Kilo, thank you.
I thought for sure he said Mike.
He did, that's why I asked.
Yeah.
Number 917, Mike, descend to maintain 1000.
1000, Mike.
They're human too. So there is no speed restriction, so we could actually go faster than 250, but you're seeing that we may get some bumps.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to prep myself here just in case. And normally I would get rid of this because I don't really care about it.
How does this plane ride out turbulence?
3713, climb maintain
It's heavier.
flight level 250.
So you're going to feel less and less. So it's very good, even high up but if you hear a 737 complaining about the ride,
You know it's bad.
we're not going to be that easy. We have good wing loading, but so generally if it's continuous light chop, I might report it, but usually I'll wait for it to be a little worse. But if I have family, I'll report light chop. And like any jet, this has the coffin corner as you go higher.
Meaning?
You don't know about the coffin corner? So basically, your max speed and intersect.
Yeah.
So if you go any faster, the plane will be damaged. If you go any slower, you'll stall. So that corner approaches as you get higher. So that's why they call it the coffin corner. So you try to stay below the coffin corner.
Contact Boston approach 118.25.
Boston 1825, ExoJet 508, good day.
Sorry, I'm just paying attention. So now we're picking up the end of the Cape on the radar.
So all the computers on here will sort of alert you to those.
Well, I mean, everything comes in it for stalling, right?
Yeah,
I mean, that's all. Big Brother, and the older jets, no.
Yeah.
You're on your own. But here we've got Big Brother watching everything. We have angle of attack, we have temperature.
Portland approach 119.75.
1975, South 1340.
So we slowed down a little bit. We're only going about 339 over the grounds.
Sort of you're approaching your shortcut.
Number 917, Mike, contact Boston approach 125.05.
2505, you have a nice evening, Mike.
You too.
We have to get handed over to Cape before I can ask for the shortcut.
Speaking of the Cape.
There it is. So if we wanted to, we can just go ahead and cancel and go direct. All right, so we're going to slow down now. This can happen here. This will be a good picture, actually. But I need to focus on flying for a little bit.
637 Boston Center.
So we're still easily in daylight, so I'm just going to go ahead and cancel in a second here. Oh, fortunately we're getting all the glare from the screen. Oh well, that's okay. You should have handed us off by now. Thousand to go.
Wonder if they're changing
Endeavour
controllers.
3652 Boston Center, climb maintain flight level 260.
We have the airport.
Yeah, sort of where the sun set.
Right there.
Duxbury. Oh, I can actually. Is that it? The clearing
field,
there?
Clearing, yeah.
Oh, Boston 301 Mike Kilo.
301 Mike Kilo, go ahead.
I have the airport inside. I can go ahead and cancel and just go direct.
Okay, 301 Mike Kilo, roger, copy the cancellation. Do you want to stay on ATC or do you want to go over to advisory?
If I can go over to advisory, that would be great.
Okay, 301 Mike Kilo, roger. Radar service terminated. Squawk VFR and change to advisory frequency approved.
Thanks for help today, 1 Mike Kilo.
Bye.
All right, so let's go ahead. I'll take a small descent. So we're 10 minutes away. We'll go down to 2,500 feet. That'll give us plenty of time.
Wisconsin 4201, contact Bangor approach 118.902.
We'll listen to Cape anyways.
Plymouth Municipal Airport, Plymouth, Massachusetts. Automated weather observation 2201 Zulu. Wind 150 at 06. Visibility 10. Sky condition clear. Temperature 04 Celsius. Dew point minus 04 Celsius. Altimeter 3023. Remarks. Density altitude minus 1,400. Plymouth Municipal Airport, Plymouth, Massachusetts. Automated weather observation 2201 Zulu. Wind 150 at 06. Visibility 1.
Yeah, look at the water. There's hardly a breath of wind.
No, this is great. Sometimes you don't.
Runway north of 410 southeast, 1200 and Brown west. False traffic, Warrior 4302 Victor, crosswind, runway 16.
Yeah, too much of a glare there.
In traffic, Cessna 1301, we are 10 miles to your east, landing with our team.
Very good. All right, before landing checklist. Pretty much is what we've already done. We've got engine speed set. We'll just make sure it's green anyways. We already had weight accepted, so there's nothing else to do there. We'll turn that off for a second. We've got 7 minutes to go. We are going to be landing on 15, which is going to our left. We'll try to set up for 45. We'll enter the pattern at 1,600 feet, which is just above the regular pattern of 11. And
Flight 1955,
That's it.
Roger, thank you. Send a pass.
Go crosswind, upwind, crosswind to downwind, or
Out of 5,
We'll go south of the airport,
yeah,
and we'll turn back on a pretty much a 45 because it's left traffic.
left traffic.
Yeah. My home base for many years was Marshfield. It was just over here.
Yeah, it's a nice runway they put in there.
Oh yeah, it was closed for a year though.
But
what a big pain.
a lot of guys are complaining about the landing fee.
There's a landing fee now?
Yeah, unless you get fuel or something.
Oh yeah, plus, so to get my badge there is $100. To get my badge at Plymouth is free.
Yeah. Plymouth is really one of the best run airports in the state.
They've been very nice to me.
Yeah.
Just snow plowing could have been a little better.
Mansfield was unbelievable. I was like worried my wings were gonna scraping along snowbanks.
I've hit snowbanks at Mansfield and Taunton in the Meridian during training. All right, so we're below 10,000 in theory. I'm not supposed to be going above 250, and that's where auto throttles help. And on stars, auto throttles help with that as well. So it's very smooth, so we'll just keep it going.
So what's the farthest you've taken this plane?
This one hasn't been cross country. It's been to last year I went to Beef Island.
Where's that?
British Tortola down there. Yeah. That was probably the farthest, but it's been to Cancun, Nevis, so pretty much an arc. The Meridian I did two transcontinentals in. That was fun, but I got it out of my system. This would probably be more fun because it could have been above the weather that beat me up in the Meridian.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's good. How about you? Have you done transcontinental?
I've done that a few times. Florida, Texas, Oshkosh.
Yeah, so I've done
Grand Canyon, that sort of stuff. But I haven't gone to the Caribbean Islands.
I did Oshkosh 3 times. Once in the Meridian and twice in the Eclipse. And then Minneapolis many times, Florida many, many, many times. But I don't have parents in Florida anymore, so I don't have an excuse to go there. So that was a good use of the plane.
Wigan 6602, level 3000, 350, now heading in. At the airport inside with Sierra.
Wigan 6602, Roger, thank you.
And if possible, like to request 24.
Wigan 6602, Roger. You can expect runway 24, descend and maintain
very clear,
2000,
wow.
fly heading 0.
Yeah, it is.
Nantucket.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Wow.
New England's a great place to fly.
Is when the weather's good.
Yeah, I guess.
My house is, the North River entrance is here.
Oh, near Marshall,
And then it goes 6 miles in, and I'm on
That's
the
a beautiful river.
I'm on the river, yeah.
I love flying over that.
My house faces south, and we're directly under the Logan approach.
Yeah.
Exactly where they pull the engines back to whatever.
Oh, so you hear that?
So we hear this weird whiny noise when they're on a certain...
Yeah, I hear... Because I live in Sharon, and that's...
Oh, you're also, yeah.
It's right there. Was it Millis or some, one of the final approach fixes? Yeah.
Right, so we have traffic showing up here. So we could start slowing down to 200. We're still 14 miles away. 700 feet. There's somebody to the right and somebody to the left. So we're going to go down to 20 miles. There's somebody 400 feet, 300 feet. So we're going to stop here.
It's a boat.
You see him?
I know. I thought I saw him. It was a boat.
It's right ahead.
What's the range on this?
So it should be right there.
I think it's picking up a light.
They should miss us now, but same altitude.
Wigan 6602 traffic, 9 at 10 o'clock, 3 miles northbound, 1,600, Twin Cessna oscillating Hyena. Cleared visual approach runway 24.
Cleared visual 24, looking for that traffic, Wigan 6602. I get the traffic in sight now, Wigan 6602.
Wigan 6602, roger.
So we're right here. So we're going to switch over.
Flight traffic Eclipse 301 Mike Kilos, 9 miles to the east, 2,500 feet, approaching to enter left, downwind runway 15, Plymouth.
I keep looking for traffic. I have not seen.
There is somebody behind us now, but there's no one talking for Plymouth. So we're going to go ahead, and I'm just going to. I was going to let you fly.
Oh, that's all right. I'm documenting this.
So autopilot's off. We're descending to 600. So we're going to put the head
Oh, there's the traffic. He's going overhead, no factor. Cape Air.
He would have seen us. All right.
Flight traffic Eclipse 301 Mike Kilos, 5 miles out, entering a left, downwind runway 15, 2,000 feet descending, Plymouth.
.200 knots is the maximum gear down speed.
First notch and gear. So I'm going to my cardinal setting, which will be around 53. I should have been down to about 120 by now, which I'm not.
Flight traffic Eclipse 301 Mike Kilos, entering a left, downwind runway 15, Plymouth.
Get ahead of it here. I want to be in the 90s for that. That works. We're in our one pattern speed at 120. We made it. Most of us will take wider paths in the jet just so we can see any traffic that might be lingering around.
Flight traffic Eclipse 301 Mike Kilo, turning left base, runway 15, Plymouth.
I gotta assume you're also a little less maneuverable.
This is very maneuverable, just that you're typically heavier and faster, and you don't want to be doing anything too drastic in the pattern. All right, there's full notch of flaps down, environment's clear. So I've set the altitude for a missed approach. So because the missed approach in this can be on the autopilot, I'll do the pitch up and deal with everything flying. But generally you'd load an approach no matter what.
November 69204 is about 7 miles to the south and traffic in the area, please spot.
Flight traffic Eclipse 301 Mike Kilo is turning final runway 15, Plymouth.
So I like to practice short approaches when I can, which means sort of
curving. It is for November is 9 miles to the west, being bound for left down runway 32 at Mansfield.
Auto dampers, yaw dampers off.
$500.
Plymouth traffic Eclipse 301 Mike Kilo short, final runway 15, Plymouth.
Jonas Falls, Cherokee 9622 Whiskey is going to be overhead, silent down, runway 6, Jonas Falls. Plymouth area traffic, Medflight 1 helicopters over on the northwest side of the airport, going to transition over to the keyhole, southwest side of the airport. Plymouth.
So we could have done it in less than 2,000 feet if we wanted to, but no reason. Not quite as smooth as the last one.
It's funny how your whole flight's judged by the last moment.
It is. It is.
Plymouth traffic Eclipse 301 Mike Kilo, clear the active, Plymouth.
That's quite a large plane. Look at that.
Yeah. I thought it was a DC-9 at first. It's Canadair or something.
The Global, whatever, the Global Express maybe. Right, so we'll take a picture of that on the way back. We'll turn this off.
I'll take a still for you.
Oh, we'll have to go again. You'll have to look. I'll send you the study guide.
Yeah, sure.
Some video. There's a 30-minute video that one of the West Coast instructors did just on basically all the flows and the basics.
Yeah.
It's a pretty good introduction. Now the number of pilots that probably do all the steps that he shows you is probably pretty small.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure a lot of guys, they buy this plane less because they love to fly than they want to get places.
Well, the majority of the pilots actually moved up directly from a Cirrus. So, turn everything on.
National traffic Cherokee 31 November is entering on the 45 left downwind 32, man.
Plymouth traffic Eclipse 301 Mike Kilo crossing runway 624 Plymouth.
Oh, there's my humble little plane.
Looks right at home.
Plymouth traffic Eclipse 301 Mike Kilo crossing 1533 Plymouth.
Question is, should I bother to get fuel or not? Whenever I don't. Do you mind why I
Mike Kilo, drive over Dodge, so you're going to want some fuel?
I am, yes please, 1 Mike Kilo.
Alright, just give me a minute, let me take care of this globe and we'll be right over.
Thanks.
I'm in a hurry, I could just walk over.
So he's working on the Global Express right now. That could take...
That's going to take it all night.
They're pretty used to me.
National traffic Cherokee 31 November left downwind 32, man.
So let's see how much fuel you have left over.
690.
Yeah.
More than enough. So 4.
Yeah. No, that was more than you thought, than the computer calculated, right?
Plymouth traffic, Medflight 1, or Medflight 4, southeast side of the airport, going to take off northeast bound, crossing runway 15 at Plymouth.
So that's the only thing you have to watch out for here is there's a lot of the state police and the Medflight helicopters are here. And they do some really unusual approaches. And if you happen to land and if your fuel truck's on the way to you and they call that they need fuel, he turns around and goes fuels them and then comes back to do you. You're good enough now to at least
Enzo traffic
tell me
November
that.
turning left base 32 Manchester.
Last stubborn little snowbank. So this is downhill. The first time I made this turn in a snow-covered taxiway, I was wondering if I was just gonna
Slide.
keep on going. Luckily I did. But they only plow within 2 feet of the hangar door.
Yeah, pretty standard, I think. I actually don't mind keeping my plane tied down. It's pretty easy to clean up after and got every conceivable cover.
All right.
And it is a wrap.